Today, I'm going to show you how to create custom keyboard shortcuts in Photoshop so that you can work faster.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hi and welcome back to DIY Film with Merle Becker, the channel where I help you make better videos. And this video has not one, but 2 tips in it, so stick around to the end. Okay, so today's video is a quick and easy one. It's for those of you who aren't using Photoshop shortcuts yet. That's right, there are some of you still not using them. As you may know, Photoshop has their own default shortcuts, and you should be using them. Also, you can create your own shortcuts for the things that you do the most often. So let's dive in. I use Adobe Photoshop for tons of filmmaking stuff, including animated titles, chyrons, and YouTube thumbnails. And today I'm working in Photoshop version 22.4.2. So if yours is older or newer, it may look slightly different. But the keyboard shortcuts menu is likely still in the same place. So first, let's go to Edit at the very top of your screen and scroll down to Keyboard Shortcuts. And for this demo, I'm going to be creating a custom shortcut for one of my favorite tools, the Smudge tool, which I often use when I'm blending 2 areas of an image or if I'm smoothing something out. So here is where you can modify all your shortcuts, not only for the tools, but for application and panel menus as well. But since we just want to set a keyboard shortcut for a tool, we're going to select Tools from the Shortcuts For menu. Then I want to scroll down till I see the Smudge tool. And to the right of it, I can see that the Smudge tool currently doesn't have a shortcut set for it. So I'm going to pick one. And I'll pick the letter S for Smudge. Now, if by chance you pick something that's already in use, you may get an error message, in which case you'll need to pick a different key or change the first shortcut. So I'll choose S, which isn't in use yet, and hit OK. And that's it! Done and done. And now every time I hit S on my keyboard, Photoshop will select the Smudge tool. One more thing that's useful to know when it comes to Photoshop shortcuts is that you can easily generate a list of all the shortcuts that you're currently using in your application. This list is useful if you're just starting out and if you want to print it out and have it by your workstation, or if you want to save it as a PDF to your desktop. So to do this, go to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts, and Summarize. Photoshop will then generate an HTML file and ask you where you want to save it. Select your desktop and hit Save. And voila! Photoshop has created a list of all the keyboard shortcuts that are currently in use. And it's open in a browser tab. So now you can either print it from this browser tab, or you can also export it as a PDF to save to your desktop by going to File and Export as PDF. So to summarize, if you're just starting out and you want a handy list of all your current shortcuts, that Summarize button is your friend. Alrighty friends, let's do that additional tip. When I'm creating keyboard shortcuts in either Premiere or Photoshop, I usually try to keep most of the Adobe defaults as they are. And I only add new ones by selecting keys that are not currently in use. There are a few reasons for this. For one, and this is a personal reason, is that I teach Premiere and Photoshop at a college, and I'm often hopping onto different classroom computers to help my students, and these classroom computers all have the Adobe defaults on there and not my settings. But also, and more importantly, using the Adobe defaults will come in handy if you have to reset your preferences for either Premiere or Photoshop. For those who don't know what resetting your preferences is something you do if Premiere or Photoshop keeps crashing. However, when you reset your preferences, you lose all your custom keyboard shortcuts. But if you've been using mostly default shortcuts, there's less work for you to do when it comes to creating your custom ones again. So use mostly default shortcuts, and if you need to, select different ones for your custom ones. The defaults are pretty intuitive anyhow, and it will make less work for you every time you clean up your workstation. Alright, I think we've covered the basics. As always, if you found any of this helpful, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when the next one is posted, and I will catch you next time.